I've heard so many gunshots and bomb blasts happening around in the past that coming back home I think is going to be difficult around Diwali time, thinking it's actually gunshots and not firecrackers. I'm Alan from Goa. I studied in Goa Medical College and then did my Masters in Public Health. Happened to join MSF and have been working with MSF since 2009. Since then I've been working for the emergency team of MSF this last 1 year. I was in Syria, then Yemen, and now back to South Sudan, where I'd been in 2012. I'm just coming back from South Sudan. Syria, as we all know, again has been another war that's been lasting for too long. Multiple actors, a conflict of international scale as well. It's more difficult to provide healthcare both in Syria and other countries where we have healthcare facilities being targeted. When healthcare itself is a target, it becomes more difficult to provide healthcare in places like this, and you have to take extra cautions and make compromises, which should not be the case. So many of the existing facilities are not functioning anymore due to lack of supplies or lack of manpower, many of trained professionals of which have left the country. Many of the facilities themselves have been bombed. So you end up having to support the whole system, right from primary care to secondary and even tertiary care. The real casualties of war are always, I think, people who cannot protect themselves, or people who may or may not have had a say in the conflict but don't have a voice or power to defend themselves. Or I don't know how I would react if I ever had to go through something like that. And what it meant for them to see people that they were not forgotten by the outside world, and people coming back to help them or to be one with them and show solidarity meant a lot. You always have patients who come to you so sick that your gut instinct tells you they won't make it, and you hope against hope that they will. Well, Ebola, when we went, it had reached a stage where it was crossing borders, crossing countries, and it was a matter of time before it reached everywhere. Everybody was scared. Countries were closing borders, and instead of sending medics to places where there was Ebola to help, people were blocking borders and preventing their medics from going out to these places. So that was quite a challenge, being able to go there, being able to convince family and friends that this is the right thing to do, and this is what we as humanity needed at this point. There's one story that will stay with me forever. I had the opportunity to go home with one of the patients, take them back to the community where they belonged, and after they were cured from Ebola and discharged from the treatment center. And when we took them back to the community, we had to hug them and show the community that this person is now cured and not infective anymore. But just the reception that the patient got when she went back home was a memory I'll always cherish. We live in times when things are much harder than they've ever been, and it's up to the international community to do something to stop them. That the only way is to stop it. In MSF and I think other organizations, we're seeing a lot more Indians who are willing to work outside and be part of the broader answer to humanitarian needs across the world. Once you start working in places like this where there's nobody else, and you see the immense amount of trust that people put in you and their hope in you and your organization as a medic or in the medical community, and you know that if we were not there to bear witness or to provide healthcare, many of these people may not have survived.
Do you want to know how a nation can lose $34 billion in damages? It's quite simple, really. You let the vultures go nearly extinct.